content creator or an aspiring content creator. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you how the influencing culture has normalized envy, greed, selfishness, overconsumption, how this shows up in your life, and how you can escape the loop and create meaningful content as a content creator. Hey guys, I'm Director Didi, and with God, I'm building a billion-dollar creative business, Cloud Media Studios out of Africa, and I'm bringing every creative on this journey with me. I started creating content way back in like 2015, and I have been creating content ever since till this day. However, a lot of things have changed in my journey. I started creating content because I really loved makeup and beauty, and I would always create looks and just the things that I enjoyed at first. But as time grew, as the social media evolved, as things became more aesthetic, girl, I lost it all. If any of this resonates with you, then you should probably check yourself. Be comfortable with telling yourself the truth. I always wanted to consume the latest gadgets. Like, I always felt like my content would be so much more if I was using the latest iPhone. For now, we can say iPhone 17 Pro Max, for example. And even though, yes, the camera quality of that phone is undeniably amazing, I am creating right now with my iPhone X, and I have been creating with my iPhone X for years. My point here is you can definitely start with what you have. You do not need the most expensive equipment to create. So if you feel yourself where it's always looking into the future instead of working with what you have, it might be a sign that this whole influencing thing is affecting you fundamentally, more so in the way you think, buy, and how you act. You find yourself always trying to improve your aesthetic as your quality of life instead of improving your craft, instead of getting better at editing, instead of getting better at filming. I always thought my life needed to look a certain way to be a certain kind of creator. I would always watch people that I love watching, and you watch all these people and you see how their lives are right now, but you as a beginner content creator do not take into cognizance that these people started from somewhere. Rooms probably were not as aesthetic. They did not have the best camera equipment. They were filming with an iPhone 7 with books stacked up. You don't know that, and you see their life now, and you as a starting content creator want to create, I say, but it's not where you are right now, but you want to look as if that is where you are in order to have the kind of influence that they have. That is where performance in this industry comes into play. You see yourself over consuming in the disguise of growth. Now, I know people always say that, oh, to get brand collaborations with brands, you need to buy their products and use it organically. That was a trap that kept me trapped and bound. Myself over consuming on products that I did not even need. Why? Because I needed brands to notice me. I needed these brands to see me. And what this did was that I stopped creating organically, and I started creating for the sole purpose of being seen by certain brands, of being seen by certain people, of being seen and perceived by certain kind of audience. Follow your favorite beauty content creators, and they do a certain kind of content, and you're like, that's what they're doing, that's what's getting them the views that they're getting. So all I need to do is gather all my last savings and buy this many products and make those kind of videos. And then you do that because I did, and then you're left feeling frustrated. You're left feeling not only emotionally drained but financially drained at this point. And I'm not saying not to buy products you need. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying don't do it for the sake of attention. I feel like I've come to the point where attention will come naturally. You don't force people to see you. Oh my goodness, before I would tag and tag and tag and tag, and that's what they say to do, but at the same time it's like, at what point does it like become too much? At what point does it become weird? At what point are you living and breathing and creating just so these people can see you? At what point have you moved from servicing the audience that is in front of you to looking to people who are not even looking at you? And the most interesting thing about this is that the more you create along this path, the more you create along this path of seeking validation, the more you create along this path of wanting brands to see you, wanting to be perceived a certain way, wanting to look a certain way, you lose the essence of why you started creating. I stopped creating what I wanted to create, and I started creating what I thought would make me go viral, what I thought would make people want to see me. I stopped creating for the authentic reason that I was on these platforms, and started duplicating other people's creations. And you know, it's interesting because this is one of the things that is, you know, platform gurus tell you to do, to replicate, to do this, to do that. But then it's like, but what happens to what you bring to the table? Yes, I agree that no content is new on the surface of the earth, but your execution is different. You see somebody make a makeup tutorial, and then you will have your own twist with what you already use and how you can come up with maybe what they have done with what you use. But no, the gimmick is to see what they have done and then scrap all your money and buy all the products that they got to have the setup that they did so that you can make the video like they did. And in all that, you lose yourself, you lose your creativity, you lose your personality, you lose your brand, and you become a copy and paste of whatever is out there. I have taken up personalities of other creators because I thought this person is like this and they look like this and they sound like this and they act like this, so I'm sure if I do this, I'm going to get all that. And that just feeds into the envy because you don't know it at the time. You think you're being ambitious. No, you're being envious, because what it is that you want their life. You don't want what God wants for you. No, you want what they have. And the thing about social media is you have no idea the things that go on in the background. You hear creators say, oh, I disappeared for a month because I had to deal with real life. You don't know what that real life cost them. For such a long time, I found myself duplicating other people's lives. I found myself recreating other people's lives. I found myself being other people, and it made me unhappy. It took away the joy and the essence of creating, because it's like, oh, I wanted to replicate this video, but I did not have my nails done like this, or my room does not look like their room. And obviously the perfectionist in most of us creators kicks in, where I have to look exactly like this video, and it's like, no, you're no longer creating though, you're now duplicating. And it just takes away the joy from being a creator. It takes away the joy from thinking about an idea and executing it in a way that only you can deliver, and having it for the world to see and appreciate. It takes away all that joy, and now you're just comparing yourself to, okay, I replicated this video, so let me see how mine will perform in against how this person's own performed. Where's the joy in that? If I find the person who came up with this whole aesthetic minimal living, I'm going to shoot the person in the foot, then in the head, because they have trapped so many creators in ways that it does not even make sense to me anymore. And I say they, but I mean me. I've been trapped in so many ways. I stopped creating for such a long time because I thought my life was not aesthetic enough. I wasn't going out to the best restaurants, I wasn't traveling, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that. But then again, tell that to those who are in the mortuary, who are not alive. You are living and you are breathing, and so there's a reason for you to create. These people who have glamorous lives started out just like you, but the way everything is packaged now, it looks like, oh, they just fell onto the internet all made up and stuff. No, most of these people work their asses off back end, and then they come on when they have already made it, or they have the packaging of those who have made it. And guys, Instagram, social media is not real life. It is not real life. It is curated and it is planned and it is scripted. I go through my Instagram feed and I unfollow a lot of people. Why? Because I see how I can be following 10 different creators and they have the exact same lifestyle, the exact same lifestyle. So I personally, I unfollow accounts like that. I have no hate for anybody like that, but I'm just like, this is not what I want to consume, because it's content like this that creates the narrative of my life needs to look a certain way. I need to consume this much products. I need to do this. I need to do that. You don't need anything but what you have currently. Whatever you have is what you need to get what you want. And what you want, not because other people have it, but because that is what you actually have a need for. The truth is, the more you try to look like a creator, the farther you are from actually being a creator. That is something I had to learn. The more you try to look like a creator, the farther you are from actually being a creator, because you are no longer a creator, you are a duplicator, you are a replicator. You know those people who replicate art? That's what you are. You're not authentic, you're not original, you are just a copy and paste of someone else's brilliant idea. It's like living like this can keep your ideas so buried deep because you're so focused on what is going on what other people are doing, that you don't stop and think, what can you do, what can you add to this space? Yes, it's saturated, like it will always be saturated, but what can you do that other people can copy? Ever thought of that? What can you do that other people can copy? Nobody thinks about that. Everybody just thinks about, this person did this person did this. This is trending. This is trending. I should definitely hop on this trend. Please don't. If there's anything I've learned out of my experience from being a creator since 2015 till now, is that you do not need aesthetics, you do not need the latest gadgets, you do not need all the products in the world to be successful. Overconsumption is a thing that has plagued the influencer industry. All this overconsumption, the envy, you can love your life and share the authentic parts of your life with your audience without having to replicate someone else's life. You can do that and be successful. You can do that and have people love you. You can do that and have people resonate and see themselves in you. The truth is, with all these big influencers and why they are so keen about being relatable, is because not a lot of people have the kind of money that they have, right? And so even with all the money they have, they try to be relatable, when you, who is already relatable, try to look like them. People enjoy journeys where they see you grow. People appreciate the journey, they appreciate the process. It is, you did not kill anybody if all you have is a tripod and an iPhone 7. You did not kill anybody. But if you're waiting to have an iPhone 16 before you create, guess what? You just might never create. You just might never create. But those who had the iPhone 6 and iPhone 5 back then, who created with those iPhone 5s, are the people who are buying iPhone 17 Pro Max now. So you need to think about it. You need to honestly think about it. You do not need the aesthetics to be successful. You do not need the latest gadgets to be successful. Honestly, success is very relative. So who set the standards of success as creators? Who? The real growth, honestly, comes with being authentic. I feel like in this day and age where aesthetics and minimalism is such a flagship word, it is more difficult to be authentic than it is to be a copy and paste. When your focus shifts from looking like a creator to becoming a creator, when your focus shifts from duplicating someone else's life to using the life that God has blessed you with for the service of others, the fruits start to show, the blessings start to come in, the reward, the brands who you are so desperate to notice you start to notice you. If there's something I'm going to tell you, it's this: stop comparing where you are right now to someone's highlight reel. Just stop it. You are in a different chapter. You cannot compare yourself who just wants to start creating content to somebody who has been creating content for the past 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. You guys are not in the same season, you are not in the same chapter, so it does not make any sense to compare yourself to them. And what's more, the phase that you are right now was the exact same phase they were 10, 15 years ago. Sure, things were different. Sure, social media was not a thing as it is now, but they had to start from somewhere, is what I'm saying. They had to start from somewhere. They had to start with what they had. They had to start. They just had to start. So you can't compare your life. You can't compare where you are. You can't compare the fact that you're starting with somebody who is being flown out for brand trips. Is that the goal? Yes, probably, depending on what your lifestyle goals are. But you can't compare where you are to where they are, because it will never match up. So yeah, I hope this has been able to share some light on why you feel the way you feel about the content that you create, and some things that you did not really noticed that you were doing as a content creator. And I hope that you take this as your sign to take a step back and reevaluate what's important to you. Let this be a sign for you to become a content creator and not look like a content creator, because ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference. I will see you guys in the next one, and from me to you with love, goodbye.